You talk when you cease to be at peace with your thoughts. If you love somebody, let them go, for if they return, they were always yours. If they don't, they never were. Let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of the heavens dance between you. Love one another, but make not a bond of love, let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. Fill each other's cup, but drink not from one cup. Give one another of your bread, but eat not from the same loaf. Sing and dance together and be joyous, but let each one of you be alone, even as the strings of a lute are alone though they quiver with the same music. Give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping. For only the hand of life can contain your hearts, and stand together, yet not too near together. For the pillars of the temple stand apart, and the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow. Trees are poems the earth writes upon the sky, we fell them down and turn them into paper, that we may record our emptiness. Out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls, the most massive characters are seared with scars. Ever has it been that love knows not its own depth until the hour of separation. One day you will ask me which is more important, my life or yours? I will say mine, and you will walk away not knowing that you are my life. When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart, and you shall see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. And forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet, and the winds long to play with your hair. Tenderness and kindness are not signs of weakness and despair, but manifestations of strength and resolution. You give but little when you give of your possessions. It is when you give of yourself that you truly give. Generosity is giving more than you can, and pride is taking less than you need. Love one another, but make not a bond of love, let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. I am ignorant of absolute truth, but I am humble before my ignorance, and therein lies my honor and my reward. You pray in your distress and in your need, would that you might pray also in the fullness of your joy and in your days of abundance. Beauty is eternity gazing at itself in a mirror. But you are eternity, and you are the mirror. We choose our joys and sorrows long before we experience them. The smallest act of kindness is worth more than the greatest intention. Friendship is always a sweet responsibility, never an opportunity. You may forget with whom you laughed, but you will never forget with whom you wept. Music is the language of the spirit. It opens the secret of life, bringing peace, abolishing strife. Solitude has soft, silky hands, but with strong fingers it grasps the heart and makes it ache with sorrow. To understand the heart and mind of a person, look not at what he has already achieved, but at what he aspires to. They deem me mad because I will not sell my days for gold, and I deem them mad because they think my days have a price. When you reach the end of what you should know, you will be at the beginning of what you should sense. My loneliness was born when men praised my talkative faults and blamed my silent virtues. One's own religion is after all a matter between oneself and one's maker and no one else's. Half of what I say is meaningless, but I say it so that the other half may reach you. The real test of good manners is to be able to put up with bad manners pleasantly. The optimist sees the rose and not its thorns, the pessimist stares at the thorns, oblivious to the rose. Travel and tell no one. Live a true love story and tell no one. Live happily and tell no one. People ruin beautiful things. When you love, you should not think you can direct the course of love, for love, if it finds you worthy, directs your course. And think not you can direct the course of love, for love, if it finds you worthy, directs your course. Between what is said and not meant, and what is meant and not said, most of love is lost. In one drop of water are found all the secrets of all the oceans, in one aspect of you are found all the aspects of existence. And God said, love your enemy, and I obeyed him and loved myself. The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. Safeguarding the rights of others is the most noble and beautiful end of a human being. There is a space between man's imagination and man's attainment that may only be traversed by his longing. We are all prisoners, but some of us are in cells with windows and some without. Faith is an oasis in the heart which will never be reached by the caravan of thinking. Verily the lust for comfort murders the passion of the soul, and then walks grinning in the funeral. Words are timeless. You should utter them or write them with the knowledge of their timelessness. Of life's two chief prizes, beauty and truth, I found the first in a loving heart and the second in a laborer's hand. I wash my hands of those who imagine chattering to be knowledge, silence to be ignorance, and affection to be art. When life does not find a singer to sing her heart, she produces a philosopher to speak her mind. Tell your secret to the wind, but don't blame it for telling the trees. Is not the beautiful moon, that inspires poets, the same moon which angers the silence of the sea with a terrible roar? He who seeks ecstasy in love should not complain of suffering. There must be something strangely sacred in salt. It is in our tears and in the sea. The most pitiful among men is he who turns his dreams into silver and gold. Do not fear the thorns in your path, for they draw only corrupt blood.